So today I'm going to talk about a Ted Cruz video from Forbes Breaking News YouTube channel. This was released 14 hours ago, so that means September 30, 2025. Ted Cruz says, "Stop talking pedophiles while discussing fighting crime." Well, that sounds disgusting, but we already know that Republicans in general have been protecting pedophiles. Look at Trump.
Now,
So it's just interesting how they keep protecting Trump and they don't do anything about releasing the Epstein files. If they really care about children, why do they keep acting like the guardians of pedophiles? Doesn't make sense to me. But let's check out the video.
now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop murders? How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles? I want you to look.
Why he was making a point that is agreeable, right? Let's stop murders. We shouldn't have any more people being killed by murderers. Let's stop rapes. But then let's stop attacking pedophiles. Now you can argue that he made a mistake, but why, when it came to saying let's stop attacking pedophiles, that's when he makes a mistake? Why didn't he say let's target pedophiles? Let's make sure that there are no pedophiles in Congress or the presidency, right? That should be common sense and agreeable. But he says the opposite. Let's stop attacking pedophiles. Now you can argue that's a mistake, but I don't think it is, considering that they have not been releasing the Epstein files, and Republicans in Congress are protecting Trump and themselves by not releasing the Epstein files. And there are tons of Republicans, over 1,000 of them, that talk about Republican politicians being caught, even recently this year, being caught with child pornography, distributing child pornography as well. So there's a lot of evidence that these people are protecting pedophiles in government who are politicians. I'm gonna go back so you guys can see that again. So I'm not just making shit up. So you guys can see this coming from straight from his mouth.
Now, Senator Booker also said we should have bipartisan agreement. I think that's a great idea. We should have bipartisan agreement. How about we all come together and say, let's stop.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Ted Cruz is a senator from Texas. So in case you guys didn't know that, Greg Abbott is a governor of Texas. Cory Booker is a senator from New Jersey. Just so people have an idea who these people are, if in case you don't know.
Murders. How about we all come together and say, let's stop rape? How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
So I make sure to put a caption too. I'm trying to remember to do them more often so you guys can read it as well. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense to say let's stop attacking pedophiles. It should be let's start attacking pedophiles. Let's make sure that there are no adults committing pedophilia. In general, there's nobody committing any act of related to being a pedophile. That should be common sense. So him saying that is very weird.
I want you to look at what happened when the National Guard went to D.C. Robbery fell by 57%.
So everyone's gonna ignore that? Oh boy.
Homicide fell by 58%. Sex abuse fell by 40%. Those are real results. And Detective Pemberton, if you would tell this committee what was the effect of the 2022 Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Law, and what would the benefit be for the people of D.C. if Congress passes my Clean D.C. Act?
Thank you, Senator Cruz, and thank you for introducing the Clean D.C. Act, which repeals the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Act. It is unquestionably one of the worst pieces of legislation, public safety legislation I've ever seen, and it has completely dismantled and destroyed the Metropolitan Police Department to the tune of more than 800 police officers short.
Yeah, so they're completely ignoring him saying, and no one even stopped a little bit. At least I do think they should have stopped and asked a question. Hey, Ted Cruz, what did you mean by let's stop attacking pedophiles? What do you mean by that? Maybe then Ted Cruz will correct himself or something. So there was no chance. I just given a chance that could be misspoken by Ted Cruz. He could have misspoke at the moment and he fucked up, but nobody said anything for him to give him a chance to see if he would double down or actually correct himself. Considering that the Republicans are stopping the whole idea of releasing the Epstein files, they're the reason why it hasn't been released yet this year. And every Democrat wants it to be released. Every Democrat in Congress, they want it to be released. And mega supporters want it to be released, unredacted. Everyone wants that, except Republicans in Congress and the presidency.
And say, let's stop attacking pedophiles.
So this is something that's important. Let's stop attacking pedophiles. It's again, you can argue it was misspoken, but now once the Ted Cruz correct himself would think a little bit. Nobody around him said anything, which is fucking weird as well, because they could easily stop. Hey, Ted Cruz, what do you mean by let's stop attacking pedophiles? Can you explain that in more detail? Something just to give him a chance to, think and maybe fucked up and he wouldn't double down on it. So you can argue that too, but to me, this is very disgusting. Saying that you can argue that it's misspoken, but considering the GOP, aka the Republicans, have in Congress have not allowed the release of the Epstein files. Make sure there's the unredacted, unaltered release of the Epstein files is just extremely suspicious. I'm just saying, Democrats have been the one trying to push that to be released. Trump said he was going to do it in 2024. That's part of his campaign. Trump mentioned the client list, the absent client list. He mentioned that crap, saying it's real. So release it, unredacted. There've been little bits of stuff coming out that a lot of it before he knew. So it's not. He was surprised. It's kind of reminder that Trump and Epstein were best friends. But the problem is that they don't really release anything. So people are like, what the fuck's going on? So I just want to show that Ted Cruz did say that. Instead of saying let's target or go after pedophiles, he said let's stop attacking pedophiles. You can argue that he misspoke accidentally, right? He misspoke at the moment, he made a mistake. But I don't see him correcting nobody correcting him, nobody say, hey, let's give him a moment to correct himself if he doesn't double down, if he's actually did not meant to say that. Nothing like that happened. So as far as I know. So this is very weird. At first, I was reading people talking about this like in Reddit, and I was seeing a video about it. Um, really demonstrate that this is a problem. Now, if the GOP were going to release unredacted and altered version of Epstein files, I wouldn't take this seriously. But the very fact they're blocking the release of the Epstein files, any potential crime list, unredacted and altered at all, to protect Trump and anyone else is a problem. Because if you're innocent, why not release it? Why is Mike Johnson making it so difficult? The Speaker of the House making it so difficult to release it. Why doesn't the senators in the Republicans in the Senate want it to be badly released? Why didn't they impeach Trump, found him guilty in the Senate when they had a chance? For very good reasons. Considering he was an insurrectionist and was the reason why there was an insurrection in the first place back in 2020. So why they're not doing anything to really protect American citizens and residents? That should be the first thing that is to protect American citizens and residents. Why they allowing Trump to treat, sending natural gas to U.S. cities and let him say, "Oh, this is a war. This is wartime. Now we're having war within." That's a problem. That's all dictatorship, fascist behavior, and nobody's doing anything to stop it. So, besides Democrats in Congress and the local state level, Republicans, for the most part, not every single Republican, but vast majority of them are doing nothing to stop Trump. Even some Reagan appointed judges are trying to stop Trump, but they're not part of SCOTUS, U.S. Supreme Court of the United States. So it's a big issue that this keeps happening. Nobody's doing anything. But that's my 2 cents. Let me know if you think that Ted Cruz is protecting pedophiles in Congress. Maybe he's one of them. Who knows? After saying let's stop attacking pedophiles, it's extremely suspicious considering the GOP is not releasing an unredacted, unaltered version of the Epstein files at all, and they've been blocking it. But you can, we can debate in the comments, see what you think about this. If you think they're just related to the Epstein files, if you think they're really protecting pedophiles in Congress and the presidency, aka Trump, and the rest of his administration. And if you think this was just something he may have misspoke, like I mentioned before, it could be possible. Why did anyone say anything to give him a chance to correct himself? And if he was gonna double down, nobody did that. Because now I don't know what excuses someone might make for this behavior for saying this and not catching the right way. There's no excuses. He's a grown ass man. That's not a kid. But let me know in the comment section why you might disagree with me. Why you think he is not protect? Why do you think the GOP is not protecting pedophiles? Then what's the reason why you think they're not releasing the unredacted, unaltered version of Epstein files? Let's talk about it. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Watch the TikTok files on TikTok, and you can support us on Patreon. Have a good day, guys.